Hi everybody, how are you? I have a great project today to share with you. I think it's two products that, one is not as common as the other, and I thought it'd be a great time to share with you Better with Age. So let me know if you haven't used it yet, and if you try it out, I'd love to see your project as well. All right, so my name is Patricia Skelton. I live in North Carolina. And please drop in the comments where you're from. I'd love to hear about yourself. I am an artist in residence for Amy Howard, and I am a decorative artist full-time. So I absolutely love being creative, and it's an honor to be able to share with you some of the projects that I'm working on. All right, so let's get started. All right, the first thing is, finding a inspiration photo. So this is the inspirational picture I found, and it really shows light and dark contrast on old antique finials, and I thought that was absolutely beautiful and a great way to take in a finial that has not been painted and weather the wood, and then use the mica powder and glaze to create the aged look from almost a silver. So this is the before, and this is a finial set of 3. I didn't finish the third one, so I could sort of show you where it started. And then this is with Better with Age. This is 2 coats. So I wanted to give you a look of that. Now I'm going to show you the products that I'm working with today. So the first thing that I spoke about is called Vintage Wood, Better with Age. And this product, it works with the tannins in raw wood. So it's not a stain, it's an interaction of the product that is painted onto wood. I'm going to show you a couple of samples. The next thing is using Amy Howard's Glazed Over. I've used this in several projects, but this is using it with mica powders. So here's Amy Howard's mica powder. I have 2 of them. This is a bright bronze. It's beautiful. And this one is called Diamond Dust. The Diamond Dust mixed with the other micas gives it a beautiful finish. And also I'll show you, just how it looks on its own. Almost looks like you're creating a silver leaf. So absolutely beautiful. Now, because it has glazed over in the mica, that part of it really is sealed, because glazed over will seal your project. To add a little more depth, I'm going to do light and dark wax pucks, and then for the crevices, add some Dust of Ages. All right, so let me show you a couple of different products. The first thing is, this is what we're going to work on today, and this is raw wood. So the product has to be a raw wood in order for you to use Better with Age. This is how it looks. This is 2 coats. So the first thing is, depending on the amount of tannins in your wood will make a difference in your finish. I want you to see this is underneath, and you can see this is not stained. This is where it has actually aged the wood. So you can go online and find out your type of wood, how many tannins it has in it, and that will help you decide, is it the right project for what you're looking for. You've got oaks, cedar, mahoganies that definitely have more tannins in them, so they will go darker. And then if you have something that is a birch, a maple, or pine, it is definitely will go lighter. Show you the difference. Those were the 2 differences there. This is a piece of plywood but it is made out of an oak wood. This I painted on right before I started the video, and this is how it looks with 2 coats. So you can definitely see the difference of how the wood makes a difference. Better with age, I'm going to give you examples with the mica and glaze, but you may want to work with a milk paint or a different finish, and so I wanted to show you examples. This is better with age with a milk paint. And then same thing, milk paints. This is a very Scandinavian finish, and it's quite beautiful. You can see this is the wood underneath. Okay. Now, since I worked on a finial, I was looking for a project that I could show you with a little bit of a curve to it. This is another trim piece that I've done several samples. This is before. This is how it looks after using Better with Age. And this is how it looks once you add your mica. So I think it's beautiful. You can see raw wood that's been faded and aged with time, weathered, against a really metallic finish. And so that contrast, to me, is a beautiful finish. Okay. So the first thing we'll start with is I will show you Better with Age. For this, it does require a constant mixing of the product to ensure that you have all of the ingredients blended well. Okay, I use a sponge brush to apply, and you can see it go on. Getting the crevices, you just have to push down a little bit. Now, you can open your grain by starting with a piece of wood that you have wet with water, and you can wet that with a little bit of warm water, which will raise the grain and make the process go a little faster. For this, you can see that this did not immediately turn, but you can see certain areas turning gray, and that's because how it is cut will absorb the product, and it will it has a raised grain on this naturally on the cut side, so you can see that starting to age. You want to let this air dry, and then if you want it darker, add additional coats. Some of the woods, like I said, do not have as many tannins, and because you're buying raw wood, you might not always have the opportunity to select it in the wood that you wanted. So you can add an Antiquing Glaze by Amy Howard and use that as a coat in between. I always do 1 coat of Better with Age and then 1 coat of Antiquing Glaze, and then come back with Better with Age, and it will definitely darken your wood. So this piece is after 2 coats. So this is a 2 coats. So now this is I think, a beautiful finish for such a simple process. On this, I'm going to start by bringing over our Glazed Over. So we have Amy Howard's Glazed Over, which can, you know, it lasts forever. It seals the project, and there's so many beautiful ways you can use it. So you can use Glazed Over with mica doing 2 to 1, and it will be more sheer. For this, I'm looking for it to have a more opaque finish, so I did 1 on 1. So I'm going to show you with the Diamond Dust first. And for this, I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to rinse my measuring tool and then come in, and this is 1-on-1. Okay, so then next I'm just going to go ahead and mix it with my brush. And you want to look at it to see, is it the consistency of color that you're looking for, and is, you know, the sheerness, or if you want it more opaque. So let's go ahead and put a little bit on. Come in on the corners. I want you to be able to see what this looks like. It almost, when you put this on, it gives the appearance of it being a silver leaf. I mean, it's quite amazing. This is the sample that is dried. So again, on this one you can see the raw wood, which has been aged, the dust of ages. So I wanted to show you the bright bronze, and I pre-mixed it. So this is bright bronze mixed with diamond dust. This is how it looks. The bright bronze had a similar tone to the aged wood, so I wanted to add something that gave it a different color hue. And now when I painted my finial, I really went over it to where it didn't cover all the wood. And the reason for that is I wanted to be able to leave some of the wood where it definitely looked as if it had worn off over the ages. So one of the ways to get your crevices, you can do the same thing once you're doing, if you're doing painting or if you're waxing, is sort of go from side to side, and you'll start to get the edges. Okay, now let's come over. This will be really pretty, because what we're going to do is we're going to blend in some of the diamond dust, and look how that comes over. Let's get a little more of our bright bronze, and that. And for this method, I like to go in both directions because, again, I want it to have the appearance as if it has worn off over time. Okay, so once we have it to this, you can come back in with a lint-free cloth. And this one has been dampened, but it's not wet. It's not soaking wet, it's just damp. And this is just to help me blend the mica. Again, what I'm looking for is I want it to look natural, and I want it to show some of the raw wood and then some of the wood covered with a mica. So I'm going to hit this with a heater, and I'm going to just have it on light setting. One of the ways you can tell with a mica powder is if it's dry or not is when you touch it, it won't be tacky. Okay. If I were not trying to create a sample, then I would let this air dry. Okay. But I want to be able to put on wax. One thing that we definitely talked about, I think everybody's familiar with, use a light wax before your dark wax. And the other thing is, when you're coming in, you want to get enough wax on here, but what you don't want to do is have clumps. So when you come off, when you bring it out of the puck, you want to take a little bit off, and what you're really doing is blending. You're blending it into your brush. You want to be light-handed with your wax. If you're too heavy, then it will create more of a shine than what you're looking for when you're trying to create something that's old. For a piece like this, it's really beautiful to have some pieces that have a little bit of a sheen and other parts of it that are matte flat, just dead flat. Okay? So this is, and let's turn it. I want you to be able to see both sides because the light is coming in from this side. Okay? And you always want to give this time to not move around. You have to give it time so the wax is not moving, and therefore you know that you can apply a second coat without the waxes mixing together. Okay? So for this, to create a little edge, excuse me, we're gonna hit it on the edges, and then again, let's cross hatch the center. You can see a little bit got in on the tip, and I want to get a little bit on the edges, and now I'm gonna go on the edge theirself. Okay. See the difference that that made? It really warmed it up. Okay, and then again, this needs to air dry. We want to add a dust of ages. I'm just going to smooth out my wax a little bit with a lint-free cloth. This is a microfiber lint-free. Okay, so now I'm ready to bring over Dust of Ages. Dust of Ages is something that creates the dust of ages in crevices that are left behind after years and years of furniture being handed down from one to another. So it adds another element of giving product, you know, an authentic look. One of the good things about it is you're putting a good bit on, but you can then just add it right back into the container. Again, you know, if we're not creating a sample, I would always leave this on longer so that it really has time to settle in the crevices. Okay, gonna pull this out. Okay, and we're going to put this aside. Now we're going to come back in with a fresh part of a lint-free cloth, and we're going to pull back some of the Dust of Ages. Turn my cloth over where it's clean. Now, the more you rub, because of the wax, you're going to pick up a shiny gloss. But it's not going to, if you don't hit it like I'm hitting certain places, I'm not just rubbing everything, then it's not going to make everything at a high sheen. You're going to get highs and lows. So this was our sample. And this is our finished piece for today. Then I'm going to bring over one more. And then this piece is the same, using milk paint with a touch of pigment powder. So I want you to see the contrast of what you can create. All right, so let me show you the sample. All right, here's the two pieces that I created. This is my project. The two finials, and you can see when I get close where the raw wood, which has been aged, is peeking through, and where the mica is still showing. Okay, and I just want to give you a reminder, this is the before. And this is what the finish that I was looking to create. Okay. All right, that does it for today. I hope you enjoyed this project. I really appreciate you joining me and following along. If you want to see more of my projects, I'm on Facebook, Patricia Skelton, and then I am on Instagram, Open Window Restore. I'd love to see your projects. Please share with me and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.